unknown enemy, COVID-19. The earth that we live in is no ordinary place. Each feature has been sculpted and chiseled by nature so beautifully. As human beings, we have been subject to the forces of evolution for 1 million years, which has shaped us to fit into the natural environment in which we find ourselves today. However, over billions of years, the natural cycle of evolution has eradicated masses of species from this planet through natural disaster like volcanoes and earthquakes or through disease. Human survival is threatened constantly. The oldest form of life on Earth was reported in the form of fossilized microorganisms discovered in Quebec in Canada, which is as old as 4.28 billion years old, no longer after Earth was formed 4.4 billion years ago. Ever since, nothing has killed more humans than bacteria, virus, or parasites, not even natural disasters or war. Some of us have only heard about the 14th century plague in the West, killing about 200 million people, which was half the world's population then. Later came smallpox, which killed 300 million in the 20th century. And the Spanish flu of 1918, around World War I, killed around 100 million people, more than the war itself. Malaria, a pandemic, has killed half the population of the world and still is a threat in some parts. The HIV pandemic has killed an estimate of 32 million so far, and still we haven't got a vaccine. In the post-penicillin era, innumerable bacterial infections still continue to kill despite the advances in antibacterial medication and early detection of infections. Viruses have always been the culprit for any pandemic because they can evolve so fast. It is estimated that there are more than 800 million viruses on every square meter of this planet. Most of these originate and spread from insects and animals. Life expectancy today has increased only because of our continued efforts to combat infectious disease, better living conditions, and vaccines. This is despite us continuously fighting a war against non-communicable lifestyle disease like cancer, heart attack, diabetes, hypertension, accidents, and much more. The world after World War II has doubled in population and has more humans than the earth can hold. Livestock has increased tenfold in the last 3 decades, and hence the interaction between humans and animals is on the rise, with viruses crossing the ecosystem from animal to man. The world has become a small place, and economic growth and urbanization has allowed humans to live in dense communities in the cities and also travel very fast. You can travel within 24 hours to any part of the world. Every human who comes in touch with the virus is an incubator by himself and carries the infection, multiplies it in the body, and spreads it like wildfire to everyone he comes in contact with. Just as the world is a big drama, in this stage arrives COVID-19 that marks the return of a very old and familiar enemy through a new mutation. It reminds us that infectious disease haven't vanished and is still a threat to human survival. Pandemics like SARS, Ebola, Swine Flu have threatened us and fresh in our memories in the last 20 years. The 7.8 billion world population is vulnerable to infections all the time, and such outbreaks will happen more often than ever before. COVID-19 has already threatened an economic turndown of $3 trillion as reported by US. So, who is our enemy? Do we need to spend more money on healthcare or military? Do we need to spend more to prevent countries from using biowar as a weapon? Today, 1/3 of the world population is living in isolation. Is this going to be our way of life in the future? We need to learn and inculcate the new term self-isolation, which we've never heard about. Healthcare systems throughout the world have been put under test. The developed nations have run short of even masks for their healthcare workers. Some healthcare workers have quit because of the lack of protection gear in the Western world as well. Imagine the situation in developing countries. There is no place to bury dead bodies in Italy. Spain, UK, and the US are treating COVID-19 like a war front. Family members do not even get a chance to say goodbye to their loved ones. Healthcare workers are highly vulnerable to this disease and may deter people from coming to this profession. Countries need to regulate livestock and what we eat. Our human rights have to be redefined. The world cannot withstand serial pandemics. Since the WHO declared officially on the 11th of March that the coronavirus is a pandemic, as of the 28th of March, there has been 640,000 cases and 30,000 deaths worldwide, and every single country is involved. We are just in the beginning of understanding our new enemy. We are always fighting a known enemy on our doorfront, our neighbor, our business competitor, a work colleague, a political rival, a fellow human. And we are sucked into fighting with our own ideologies of religion, ego, caste, status, when the unknown enemy is far more powerful and dangerous. Like we eradicated smallpox and polio off the face of this planet, we will win this war again with COVID-19. But we need to change our strategy, seek peace within, learn to be disciplined, learn to be hygienic, build immunity within us, and coexist together to fight this unknown enemy COVID-19 and many more to come in the future. We have better technology than ever before. We will find a cure for this virus, definitely. We will develop a vaccine soon. We will get immunity to this virus in our body, and we will survive. This is a mission we have to fight together, each one of us. This virus does not survive in the air, nor in the water, but it spreads from one human to the other. So we have to go in social isolation. So let's follow the simplest of lifestyle changes, like constantly washing your hands, indoctrine our children, neighbors, domestic helpers, friends and family about the benefits of sanitization and proper hygiene, and importantly, follow the rules and regulations issued by our national and healthcare authorities. Together we can do this. We have done it in the past and we will do it again. COVID-19 is another test to human survival, and we will survive. Let us coexist with the virus together in this world.